Good morning, pregame crew. How are y'all? How's it going? Are you ready for the trading day? Give me a thumbs up on audio visual check, please. On this beautiful Tuesday morning, June 8th. As always, I will try to get to your request if I can. I have to go over, or I want to go over the Fab Four futures, the commodities, crypto, and movers and shakers if there's time left. I will go over it. If you're a TCG member, you can just jump over in the chat room and put your request in the thread, and Dan will go over any that I am unable to get to. Hey, Judd. Hey, Corey, Jorge, Benjamin, Veronica, Hasib, Captain, P. Court, first man in the room. Brownie points, brownie points, brownie points. I'm pretty jacked up on coffee today. This should be fun. Awesome. Thank you, Roger. Hey, Captain. Hasib, sorry. We have a couple minutes here, and I actually will do, let's see, what was the first one asked? Blackberry. Okay, I'll do Blackberry. And then we're not getting started officially. So Blackberry, we had these key levels from yesterday that broke, and now let's map them out for you. So we have 1709 over here. We need to get through 1660 during regular trading hours, not just in pre-market. BB didn't show up on the high volume scan, so the volume is decent, but it'd be better if it happened during regular trading hours. So if BB is not in the Russell additions, which is getting all of the focus, it may not get that pop. We don't have a squeeze, but 1709, 1755 are your next resistances. We officially get started in 1 minute. Hey, Jason. Hey, Cbro, Crips, Man, VJ, Callum. So that is BB, and I'll go over AMC. And we'll get started in just a second. Here is my chart layout if you're interested. Oh, shoot. Here's my chart layout. I used the yellow and purple as the 50 and 200 simple moving average. The green and red, 8 and 21 EMA. Yellow candles are the JC. It's TradingView JC inside bars. I just use it to show me when price is going sideways and tightening. It jumps out at me. CM Ultimate RSI time frame. You can use any RSI, and it's just as effective as this one. I like the red and green colors to show me. Red shows when something's overbought. Green shows when something's oversold. And then the TTM squeeze indicator. And you see we're squeezing here on the hourly. So I'm going to get rid of my chart layout. My regulars, y'all know the drill by now. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. We have a thriving community where we go over crypto, commodities, marijuana, Canadian stocks, futures, whatever your interest may be, we have a channel for it. So we teach technical analysis. We have an emphasis on technicals and not on fundamentals. In the swing report, we combine fundamentals and technicals to a degree, but technicals are always number one. I call it fun tech when we can combine fundamentals and technicals. So that's enough about me. And what I do every morning is go over the Fab Four futures, commodities, cryptos, and movers and shakers. We had a very active night in crypto. I know a lot of you have a lot of questions about it. I will do my best to cover it and what was happening. So what happened with the spike down here, and I'm going to give you my own thesis and my own hypothesis as to what happened. Doesn't mean it's the gospel. It just means what I perceive happened earlier. So we had all of those websites go down. So it was a lot of global, international websites, Amazon, CNN, PayPal, they all went down, and it got announced around here. FSLY was the vendor behind these outages as per the reports. So here, all we're hearing in the news is all of these websites got attacked. And then right here, we had the known cause come out, FSLY. And then we popped. Why would we pop when we obviously had fear that we had all of these key websites down around the world? Well, it's because it wasn't some type of nefarious attack or some party that's being able to take down our internet structure. That would be the fear behind this dump. Okay, if it's just a vendor issue, they have identified and diagnosed the issue and they start slowly implementing the solution, then we get this bounce. So that was this pullback and bounce was actually an opportunity to buy because it was immediate fear. Oh God, what's happening? Who's taking down our international network? Oh, it's just a vendor error. No big deal. So that's what happened, and let's kind of scroll out and look at our levels. If you're interested, 423.475, 423.825. That is our all-time high, but always give wiggle room in futures. So I would say 42.41 is where I would give it wiggle room as far as a potential double top. So we are, I don't want to say rejecting at that level. This isn't a hard reject. We're just pausing at that level and considering the busy morning that we had. That's completely logical. So our next support is 422.925 and then 422.12.25. So when we get so close to all-time high, we're within $2. I mean, of course, we could reject right here like we did on YM. YM, we rejected right at 34,000. Right here, we rejected at 34825. We were getting close to 35,000. So it happens. You see, I have my yellow alert there to let me know if it happens again. So this could happen where we reject and come back, or we could possibly surpass it. If we were to surpass the all-time high, then your next level you're looking up at 42.95, 436.750. Okay, let's look and see who is the strongest. So the weakest has been YM. YM has definitely been the weakest. You see, we're not getting over that high of yesterday evening. Then RTY has been the weakest, then ES, and then Nasdaq. So let me say it again in a not so backwards way. Strongest, so this morning, Nasdaq, second strongest ES, then RTY, then the Dow. Why do I make it a point every morning to go over the rankings? It is because we need to get our head on straight as to what's the strongest. And if your name that you're trading is heavily weighted in one of these ETFs that governs that little boat that's in this big sea, this big ocean, and if the tide lifts it, will it help? Or if the tide's going down, will it bring it down? You have to know what name you're trading and how closely it's related to the larger sector. In this case, Nasdaq is getting a nice pump because Tesla had great news. China, 29% surge in sales, and so they had a nice pop. So we got some good move out of that. Apple getting a pop on EV news. They're shopping EV vendors for their battery, I believe. So, and by the way, I don't consider myself a news expert. I paraphrase. So if you have real money tied up in any of these news that I'm reporting, please go verify the details if you need the details. Again, I just paraphrase to get a 50,000 foot level, just a macro view. But if you need something a little bit more focused in, and please do that on your own. So on Nasdaq, our levels are, okay, sorry. So your next level is 14064. That is the next resistance with Nasdaq. When we get this high, and close, when we get in this close proximity to an all-time high, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and we just kind of suction cup up to it. So if we got this close, didn't at least touch 14,000, I would actually be surprised. That doesn't mean we're going to do it today, but I mean, it could happen. So right now on the monthly, we're still in an inside bar. It could be a monthly Nasdaq in bull flag, and we have names like Amazon and Google that typically and historically, seasonality wise, do well in the summer months. And so Sam reported in our room that Amazon and Google had a lot of call buying, and that is, let me make sure, yeah, everything's okay. And that goes back to that seasonality. IT, we see sector rotation into XLY and XLK, consumer discretionary and technology. We see it. YM levels. So this 34616, we broke through it, but once we break through it, I don't always take it off my chart because on the pullback, it could become an important level. So if you're trading the Dow, there are your levels. So I said we need to stick to the sectors that are stronger and pick names within them to trade bullish. So YM is the weakest of our four, but the news with BA may trump that, and you may still want to trade BA to the long side. So there's always these little bitty variables that go into the decision tree, because that's what we're doing every day, is we're making a decision tree. Okay, what do I want to trade? Is the market bearish or bullish? Okay, is it bullish or bearish? Okay, it's bullish. Okay, what's the bullish setups that I like? Okay, is that sector in favor? Yes. Okay, then you just keep going through your decision tree, and that's how my brain works. Buckets, buckets, buckets. Constantly dividing, conquering, and figuring out what is the best trade that's aligned with the market. Okay, RTY. RTY has rebalancing. So what rebalancing means, every June, so this year it's June 15th, and then it takes effect June 26th again. Please go check all the details. But they have to rebalance. The Russell has 3,000 instruments inside it. SPY has 500. Dow has 100. So we go from the large catch-all of 3,000 down to SPY, more exclusive access. And then the Ritz-Carlton is the DIA, which has only 100 assets. So when they are off, they're rebalancing, and so some of the names they don't have enough of are like Clover Health, and that's why it's going nuts. So it's good to know these things. So if you are part of TCG, I posted this, the reconstitution of the Russell indexes. So the biggest gainers on the list of Russell additions are Atos, Clove, Bingo, REPX, Givo, Trillium, Marijuana, FUV, and MNMD, which saw a lot of movement yesterday, and it explains it. Do you need to know why all this stuff is moving around? Nope. But it's nice to know when it is moving around. It gives you just some context, and then okay, could this be a short squeeze if we have this type of buying volume where an ETF is buying? So with RTY, here are your levels: 232490, 234220, support 2311220. So we dipped below those key supports on that news this morning, and this happened on a lot of names. So what you could be looking for now is a megaphone. So any of you TCGers, if you want to put that in the room, I'm just now seeing this. This is getting more and more megaphone-ish, because we broke those key supports this morning. I mean, QQQ is breaking through it to the upside. But RTY has a perfect megaphone here. I would short it in this area, but I would not short it with NQ pumping so hard. There's easier ways to make money. Okay, commodities, we pulled back on that news, the fear. Here are your key resistances: 1906.20, 1912.30, support 1891, and then 1883. Yep, usually gap up, sell off. You're right, Jorge, they do. Be careful, trade price action, and use stops. We never know when it could happen, but again, what I like to do is watch volume at the open, and that tells me whether we could be pulling back hard and these gap ups selling off, or is it going to be a gap and go where you gap up and run. Okay, so on oil's getting a nice bounce. Here are all your levels: 69.03 resistance, 69.78, and $70. Support 68.33 and 68.19. This is the one. I think it was gold. Never mind. Gold, the way that this was V-shaping up, it looked like a good short at 1906.20. That opportunity is already passed. We went above it by 70 cents and pulled back, which futures love to do. But this is a short that I was eyeing a potential setup, but it's already taking place. Bitcoin. So let's back up on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the weekly, inside bar, and now we're testing this key support of $30,000. Below 30,000, your next support is down at 17,580. We have some more that are mixed in there, but that's the larger supports. The difference between this dump and the May dump, the May like 19th, and we had several dumps where it was just like flush on max capitulation, and then we bounced hard because we had those liquidations of accounts, margin calls, and we just had crazy selling, and it was so much fun to buy the dip. Not so much fun if you were on the liquidation side, but this is a bounce and then just kind of peter down, bounce and just peter off. This is not the type of oversold bounce that I like to play. This is very weak. At no point have the bulls stepped in and say, hey, we're here. Go away, bears. They're not saying that. Look at this. Where are the bulls? Where are they? We are squeezing, and we can fire squeezes to the downside. So this may be a self-fulfilling prophecy, just like I said, to the upside with all-time highs. It could be to the downside of 30,000. It could be a magnet down to go touch that level. So we will see. Ethereum, you can see, is much stronger just in relation to the EMAs. You could see Ethereum here kind of going sideways on the daily, and Bitcoin is down and getting just smacked, throat punched by the 8 EMA. All right. Apple. So Apple yesterday, and I want to just start off by saying I get a lot of messages when we have a successful day like we did Friday with that docu call and the Apple call, and everybody's so excited and they missed it. And then Monday, all that FOMO built over the weekend. Then I start talking about Apple or Beyond yesterday morning, and I can't make good sound effects. Tons of messages. Should I buy Beyond in the pre-market? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? Relax. Your JOMO muscle must be stronger than your FOMO muscle. I'll say it again. Your joy of missing out muscle must be stronger than your fear of missing out muscle. Then, and only then, could you become a good trader. Do you know how many runs I've missed? In January, I was the one who posted in TCG, whoa folks, GameStop, we are upside down. In our administrative chat room with just our moderators, hey y'all, GameStop has over 100%. It is like, this is crazy, this short. I didn't even trade it, barely traded it, and I don't care. I can make money every single day, but I promise you I will not make money if my shoulders are up by my ears and I'm holding on to the table for everything I got. Relax. Let the trade come to you. And the ones that you have scouted and they come to you, you set alerts, then you trade them, and you trade them with ease. So that's my preaching message for the day. So yesterday we had this little W bottom, and then we bounced. They're getting EV news. To me, it was like a sell the news yesterday with the developer conference. Some of that Friday beautiful action built in that positive expectation of developers conference. Then they sold the news. And then today they could do the same thing. This is not a king of the mountain trade for me to go long or short. We do have news with Nasdaq being strong. I'm not going to go punch. This is like finding the biggest kid on the playground and punching them in the mouth. I want the scrawny kid in the corner, and I want to sucker punch him and run. This ain't the scrawny kid in the corner, but we've got this gap up. So if you want to trade it long, you got to watch volume. If you want to trade it short, you have to watch volume. Here are your key levels. I would call it 127 even, just to be clear, because we know how Apple can go beyond 10 or 15 cents. And then same thing for support. It could go down to 125.75. So we've got some inside bars forming on the 15-minute. We don't have a squeeze on the 15-minute. We do have decent volume in pre-market. We don't have a squeeze on the hourly. On the 5-minute, a little bit of a squeeze. So Apple could run. And I'm going to wave at it. Just smile and wave if it runs without me. If it pulls back to 126.40 and the bulls step in, then I may trade it to the long side. It is not my king of the mountain today. AMC. Here are your key levels. AMC has so many levels because the way it pivots up and down. So I'm actually going to add some fibs to this from the after hours level. So 62.16 may be a target for AMC. I like it to the long side because we still have those shorts. Those shorts are still piling in. And when they're piling in, yes, I said pie with a long I. When they're piling in like that, it could keep going. If a pullback to 55.62, some bull volume, pull back to this area, it could be a long. I like it. 57.48 is that key number. That's funny. That's the fib on another redraw too. There's a confluence of numbers around 57.48 and then 62.16. BA Southwest said, just throw on 34 more 737s for us. So they got a great order from Southwest. Here are the key levels. Yesterday's high, 253.20 on any pullback. Watch the volume here. Bears love to hate BA. So be careful, but on a pullback to 253.20, yesterday's high, it could be a buy. Let me see if I can give you another level. And just watch the volume at open, not my king of the mountain, because I don't like the conflicting signals that BA gives. But if you're comfortable with it, then go for it. Beyond. Beyond, here are the key levels. We got that pop yesterday we talked about. It was a gorgeous move, and then we pulled back all day. Let's see if the bulls can step in and get it back over 156.20. Okay, my king of the mountain trade is literally the most dangerous trade I've ever given out. Clove to the long side. Now, that doesn't mean you blindly go long, but this has potential for a short squeeze. Clove is on the list over here, and the option strikes go up to $22. So I think I put 22 on this chart somewhere. There it is, 22. $22 is where the option strike maxes out. Above $22, we got a gamma squeeze. And the amount of volume in this sucker is insane. Last time I checked, we were at 16.5 million, and that was 40 minutes before I went live. So this ain't Sally, Susie, Johnny buying. This is some big buying here. So a pullback to 1462, I would buy it with a full size. Full size, not meaning my whole account, but if my day trading size is 5% of my account, I would go in full 5% at 1462 and put my stop at 1450. So CLOV, watch it, be careful with it. And again, I hate that word feel when you're trading. It's not a trader's word, by the way. 1684, and hate's a terrible word. 1684 and 1745, we are that close. That may be that self-fulfilling prophecy on CLOV. Let me see if I can take this a little further. Your next target would be 2048, which is close to that $22. And then 2433. So Clove, it's going to give us all the volatility you need for an experienced trader. If you're not an experienced trader, take notes. Just take notes. What I see with stuff like this is trying to shove a beach ball down below the water. So this is the beach ball. So y'all just bear with me in my drawings. Okay, that's terrible. But you know what happens when you try to shove a beach ball underwater? What does it do? It pops. So with the amount of shorts that have piled into Clove, and IWM has to add it. Now they may have added it all yesterday. Let's see. 125 million and normals 30 million. They could have added it all. But be careful shorts on this one, and experienced traders only. Coop, I would look to short any bounces. They actually beat just slightly on guidance, and beat on EPS, earnings per share, but they guided down. Guidance is always more important than EPS, always, because investing in the future of the company, not the past. So that's why those conference calls can come out 30 minutes after EPS and then kill the stock. You're like, what the heck? They killed on earnings, or they beat. Then boom, guide down. So a pop up in a 22759, I would definitely be looking for a short in that area. FSLY, I don't like the way this is responding. I thought the news was terrible that they were the vendor behind these outages. So I thought, man, I got to go faster. I thought they would have dropped harder, and they didn't. So that's the levels on FSLY. I don't think I'm going to short it now. RKT, this is the most clear technical setup, but it doesn't have the news. Y'all know I like the news, and I like a technical setup, so to really go. So your inside bar levels are 2021 and 1954. You can get a nice pop if we pop outside those levels. This is what I would call a Jason setup. This is just so purely technical that this could be a nice trade. I bet he trades it today. Okay, I don't know my alphabet. That should have gone up there. Okay, PLTR, they have news that someone, I think the government has renewed a contract with them. Here is your resistances and supports. This is a name that people love to hate. We're already breaking through that pre-market resistance on any any pull back, you could possibly get a long opportunity. I would be looking at that area or here, 2474, 2471. I won't be trading this one, just so you know. I have a long position from 1650, a pre-market order from back here. 1706, I bought it pre-market here, 1650, and I'm not selling for a long time, but I don't know if I'll play it long today. Stitch Fix, I like this to the long side. This is my other king of the mountain. So we're pulling back a little bit more than I would have liked in pre-market. They had an EPS beat and they raised on guidance, 63.62. So my number is, y'all probably could guess it by now, 63.50. And I'm going to be watching volume, okay? So y'all are going to message me, well, it never pulled back and it ran. Okay, jump in if the bull volume's there. It pulled back to $65 and then it ran. Okay, was the bull volume there? It broke 63.50 and there was bear volume. Then you don't touch it. You have to make these quick decisions. Tesla, done with the bearish thesis on Tesla. They killed with this China news. 63559 is that key resistance. And then you have support at 618.30 and 618.30 and 618.10. SPY, we're breaking through resistance. The level is 423 that we need to break through during regular trading hours. And then your next support is down at 42250. And then finally QQQ. Here's your levels on QQQ. FCell Shiba. They could be covering. Absolutely, Phil. They could. They could totally be covering. We don't know, and I don't need to know to trade it. I just need to know to trade it. If it comes near 1462, I will buy and I will stop out at 1450. I already have a position actually from yesterday. I have options because this volume, I was buying it over in here. This volume was insane. So I already have a position, but I'm strictly talking about a day trade, and I want to swing it for a few days if I can, but I'm talking about for a day trade, add options with aggressive strikes and then try to get this pop if we pull back. But could I be wrong? Absolutely. Volume will tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, we got 6 minutes. TCGers, you can jump over and start listening to Dan. Put your request in there. XLE. Hey, Hasib, let me see what I can do for you. Okay, so oil's pulling back a little bit. This is still healthy on the 4-hour. The bulls are trying to fight to hold the 8 EMA. Your key level, 54.93 and 54.65. The good news for the bulls is on this pullback, you had decreasing bear volume. You see that? Then it could just be a bull flag forming. This could absolutely be a little bull flag on the daily. Oil price and SPY have to go together and keep going up and get over that key hurdle of $70, and then this could go with it. One more, VPU, and then TCGers, y'all can ask Dan if I didn't get to it. Okay, we've got a nice inside bar on VPU of resistance of 143.63, then 143.87, support 143.08 and 143. Nice inside bar with a squeeze. So on a pop, you could get that beach ball effect where we go up. Oh, I like that. I love a rounded base. That's a Bill O'Neill. William O'Neill, he's the one that came up with a rounded base. Not the cup and handle per se, but just that nice base. And I call it the trampoline move, where you push into the EMAs with elevated volume and a squeeze and get that pop. I like that name. All right, that's it for me. Use stop losses. If you're not very experienced, don't touch Clove. Clove is not the name for you. It ain't. Just paper trade it or go trade something else. You don't have to trade everything I talk about. Be careful. Being your own risk manager is your most important job. All right, happy Tuesday.